Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
Likewise. Now let's get started. The purpose of this interview is to see how you are a good fit for the position as the new Human Resources Information System Analyst. If you are offered the position, you'd be working under Kelly Anderson, who is our Talent Operations Director, and she reports to Alana Jackson, our Chief Human Resource Officer.
Sounds good.
Now, tell me about a time where you had to work on a team to complete a task where you struggled with a team member and you had to overcome the problem that the task had to do.
In my current internship about 2 months ago, I was put on a team with 4 other interns to come up with a new project for our company to launch its commercial clients. This was our intern project for the summer. At the end of the summer, one team was going to be picked to have their product into production. One of our team members on my team was offered a job at the company, but was to start off at the end of August when the internship program was officially over. She started to slack off on our project and it showed so. I had called together a team meeting to address the problem, and I started out by saying that we have a lot of work to do aside from this project, but we all need to put our best effort forward because we'll be presenting this project not only to our bosses but the CEO as well. It is important that all of us put our best effort forward. After that, we started to see this member of our team get better with meeting the deadlines that we set for the team project. In the end, we gave our presentation without a single flaw, and our product was chosen to be put into production for commercial sales.
Tell me about a time where you had to overcome one of your own struggles in the workplace and how you handled yourself.
In my internship, my boss had given me a task of putting together a survey about employment engagement. As a part of my job as HRIS intern, I was to analyze the results and put together a PowerPoint presentation on the results of what the company can do to boost our employee engagement. My boss had told me that I would be presenting the deck to her and to her boss. The morning of my presentation, my boss told me not only I would be presenting to her and her boss, but the entire HR department. I was so nervous, as one of my weaknesses is public speaking. I overcame this by taking a deep breath and writing out some note cards so I wouldn't ramble on. And I would stay on topic, and I would talk about the crucial points that were important to speak about. At the end of my presentation, I received feedback from all directions of the department. Even though I think my biggest struggle is public speaking, I now have a way to get through my presentations without struggling as much.
I can see on your resume that you did a lot of digital marketing in your first internship, and it's also one of your minors. How could you use some of your digital marketing background in human resources?
Well, there was a time when I would go to work on rebranding our company with my boss's boss. I was able to help her look at layouts and different templates with our new logos and brands on them. So in instances like company-wide rebranding, where HR plays a significant role, I will be able to use my knowledge there.
How have your undergrad courses prepared you for some of the duties listed in this position?
Like Microsoft is a huge part of the job. Knowing and understanding Excel and Word will be something I do and use every day. My university offers a course that prepares you to become an Excel certified, and at the end of my course I received my certification. I also took a class that helped me learn and understand how to put together effective surveys that will get me the most information possible. The class also taught me my new ways to analyze the results I got from my survey.
Great. Do you have any questions for me about the role of the company?
I see that the company has more than one office in the state. Will there be any days that require me to go to another office?
Travel is always on the plate, but since you would be a level entry position, your job would mainly be here in our Norwalk office. If you must travel to a different office, we will give you at least 3 days notice so you can plan ahead of time.
Sounds good.
Great, I'll take all my notes and pass them along to our corporate recruiters. This information only includes everything we have discussed today, your experience and your resume and your cover letter.
Hey, what's up? I wanted to run a proposal by you if you have a minute.
Hi, everything is good. What's the proposal?
I will be going on a business trip the week of the 4th, so I wanted to speak with you to see if you'd be comfortable in stepping up and running the office while I'm out, and take care of important tasks for me as council is approaching.
Yes, I think I can do that for you. What's the problem?
I consider you to be a very valuable coworker on this team, and I have the most trust in you to handle this duty. With council approaching, we'll be very busy the week of the 4th with incoming phone calls from advisors needing to transfer money into their clients' accounts. If this isn't done by that week, the advisors will not get the credit for the transferred money and they will not be invited to council.
I am well aware of council approaching, and I do think I will be able to tackle this for you. I may need a little guidance on exactly what to look for and a little mental preparation.
Since this is my first ever council and you worked here for a few years before me, I was wondering if your previous supervisor ever handed out tests like this for you.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he did. I worked one-on-one with him during council, but I was never fully on my own to run an office for that week.
How did you see the situation?
I saw it as an opportunity to really challenge myself and get a greater understanding of the work my supervisor went through, because I knew what I wanted to be in that position one day.
Wow, that's an excellent approach, and I'm sure it truly gave you an in-depth look at what management goes through during council periods. Do you have any recommendations?
From what I saw last year, the most efficient way to handle this is to always be checking in on your other employees' work and to stay on their backs to make sure they are not being lazy. When people get lazy, this is when mistakes are made and could potentially cost an advisor to invite to the council.
I agree. It is mandatory to constantly check in with them, which is what I would like you to do.
That is the busiest week of the year and people will be doing double the amount of work. I think it would be a good idea to provide lunch for everyone and keep them satisfied and motivated.
That is an interesting take and a fantastic idea, as it will be a very hectic week. I know my best work comes out when I'm properly fed, so I will definitely consider that. What projects did he have you doing?
Specifically, he had me update all the clients' accounts to ensure that the money went through and was processed correctly. However, when it came to phone calls, I was only listening in on them and not actually talking, as I was not experienced enough.
I understand. How many phone calls came in last year?
From what I remember, it was close to 200 phone calls a day, so about 1,000 calls that week.
Wow, that is a heavy amount. Thankfully this year we'll be on pace for around 800 phone calls. How about how many mistakes that were made?
There were a few amount of mistakes, but it was under 20 with entering information into the account correctly. After experiencing it last year, I can definitely catch the mistakes before they happen.
That's a nice low number. Your experiences from last year are just what I wanted to hear, and that is why I'm selecting you to handle this. Did you make it a priority to help get as many advisors to council as possible?
Yes, that's everyone's goal. The more advisors that made it to council, the better it was for the company, because ultimately it made more money.
This is just the information I wanted to hear. I completely trust you to be able to handle the workload for me that week. With your experience from last year, you should feel very confident in taking it over completely this year, since it'll be most certainly a lighter amount of work this year. All I need you to do is handle the abundance of incoming phone calls and make sure the money is transferred and entered correctly by everyone. Because as you said, the more advisors we help reach council, the more money we make for the company. I also loved your idea of providing lunch, so I'll have food catered for everyone that week.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to this opportunity and I will not let you down. I appreciate your confidence in me and I'll make sure everything is run smoothly.
That's great to hear. If you have any questions or concerns that week, don't be afraid to reach out to me. I'll be checking my email regularly. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, you too. Hi, my name is Jillian. I'm applying for the position for Assistant Administration at Yale New Haven Hospital.
Hi, Jillian. My name is Katie Amadino. I'm the HR Director here at Yale New Haven Hospital. Thank you for taking the time to come in today and talk to me about this position. Today, I will discuss the position, ask you a few questions to better understand if you could be a good fit for this hospital. Jillian, why don't you begin by telling me a little bit more about yourself? Why are you interested in working for this company?
Well, I was born in Massachusetts and I'm a senior at Sacred Heart University. My major is health science with a concentration on healthcare administration. My minors are management and business. I had an internship last 2 summers at Sophie Pasteur, which is a pharmaceutical company. This gave me a lot of insight into what a real job was going to be like. I would love more experience in the healthcare field in a hospital setting. I am very passionate about working in the healthcare field.
That is great to hear, and I am glad to hear that you're passionate in the healthcare field. I got into this business as well because I am truly passionate about the healthcare field as well. So could you tell me some of your strengths and weaknesses?
Some of my strengths include being flexible. At my last job, I had to deal with a lot of negative work environment. I tried my best to make the most of the situation and to work to the best of my ability. Another strength would be determination. If I was given a task, it would be my main priority. I would make sure that I would have all the information I need to be successful. Some weakness, I would say, is that I am too much of a perfectionist. When given a task, I have to make sure that everything is perfect before I present it to anyone. I want to make sure that I have all the information that I need. Another weakness would be public speaking. This is something I do continue to struggle with, but I am willing to improve on. I would like to get more practice in this to become a confident speaker in front of others.
That's great to hear they want to improve your public speaking. Was there ever a time when you had to talk in front of a large crowd?
I did. At my previous internship at the end of the summer, all the interns had to give a presentation as what they had to do over the summer. It was in front of all of our bosses and some of the higher ups. I really had to practice on what I was saying. I put a lot of time and hard work into the presentation. I was very happy with the results and was glad that I could do that in front of so many people.
Well, it's great to hear that you took initiative and worked hard to give a good presentation. For this position, there will be a lot of public speaking, so it's great that you know you need to work on this. How many interns were at your last job?
On the site, there were about 60, but in my department, there were about 15 of us. I was really able to see how different people handled situation and how they dealt with their tasks. Me and another intern were mostly together working on smaller projects, but I had a good relationship with all the other interns as well.
Wow, that's great to hear. I really do think you have some great qualities for this position. I like how hardworking and determined you are and that you know how to interact with people. So do you have any last minute questions for me?
Could you explain to me a little more about this position?
Sure. So for this position is more of an assistant to the hospital administrator. As you may know, the hospital administrator is responsible for the ins and outs of the hospital. They need to make sure that everything is running smoothly. They may also be responsible for recruiting, hiring, and evaluating the nurses and doctors in the hospital. So you may have to help out with this. These jobs may be simple, like scheduling meetings or organizing some events, but it is really good first-hand experience to see the tasks that they do day to day. You may also be given bigger tasks, like some hiring and evaluating the doctors. Does that answer your question more clearly?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for coming in today and learning more about this position. You seem like you are very driven and hardworking and could be a great fit for this job. We will be giving you a call in the next week or so for a follow-up.
Thank you for having me in today for this interview. It was great meeting you and learning more about the position in this company. I'm very interested in this and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.